Hello and welcome to the Hunt Bash Extract Podcast, the podcast that's more awkward than your first kiss. I am your host, the Drunken Bard, aka DJ, and with me are three of my beautiful co-hosts today: Sleepy Weasel, aka Tyler.
Yeah, mine was pretty awkward.
Sir Kaiser, aka Richard.
Don't remind me of the wonderful times.
The patron saint of 3 stars, aka Rat329.
Mine was my friend's sister, and he's never forgiven me.
I thought you were going to say your sister. No,
Yo.
No incest allowed in this podcast. And we have a very special guest, our moderator and also a good honorary hunter of this podcast, Sway.
Incest is best. Put your sister to the test.
I'm sorry.
Yo!
I'll let you speak.
Contact Ancestry.com now for yours today.
Bro.
God, before this turns into the front page of Pornhub, gentlemen, what are we taking into the bayou, Sway, since you're our special guest?
On the new map, shotguns are my friend. Lots and lots of slate reposts.
What are you taking with it? What's the second slot?
It doesn't really matter. If I live long enough to use the shotgun, I'm happy.
Ain't that the truth? Oh my god.
Oh, wait,
Right now.
Gunrunner. You're taking 2 slates. That's it.
Yeah,
Nah, I've been running the slate and the Centennial Trauma.
Oh,
Repost
that's
slate, Centi
one of-
Trauma.
that's one of my favorite loadouts. I love that.
All right, boys, what else are we taking?
I'm honestly taking the Vetterly because I need to get better with that gun. I haven't today, but I was all day yesterday, as you probably remember.
I do,
And then
yeah.
just any secondary that'll add to the ammo pool. So mostly the packs, because I need it also to unlock the PAX True Shot for this prestige. So
Is it to cure your hate or reassure it?
it's more so I just want to be more versatile. So it's not to cure my hate, but it is just to teach me how to be a better player, I think.
Rock on.
If that makes sense. So
Yeah. Okay. What about you, Rat?
Well, I mean, I did uphold my promise and have played double haymaker with Fanning on more than one occasion.
how
But
was
did
it?
you get to I was gonna say, did you get to fan it?
I did. I did quite a few times. It was fantastic.
Oh, that's not what I expected to hear.
Oh, no. It was fantastic for me because it was fun. However, it was fantastic for them because I missed every shot.
Yeah, that was a pun too, huh? The fantastic because the fanning. I don't know. It's bad.
Exactly. I'm glad
Yeah,
you
would
caught
you say
on to
you're-
that.
Would you say you're a super fan of it?
Oh,
Wow.
You said
Good
it was my
hell.
turn. You said it was my turn for the brain cell.
he did. He
No.
did.
I said round robin. We got to split it.
Richard, what are you bringing?
You already brought Gunrunner, so double nitro.
he,
God.
he did. It's funny.
The human
Um,
tank is back.
I literally went to the fool's hideout and just pointed at one guy and shot him dead, and then turned around, pulled out my other nitro. I'm like, all right, you're asking for this one, and then got that guy too. Oh, fun fact: it takes 3 nitro shots to kill a bear.
Damn.
Oh, interesting.
I've learned that
Even
it
in
takes.
the intestines?
I don't know. I just shot it with a nitro.
Oh, okay.
It takes exactly 1 bomb lance explosive sticky to kill a bear as well.
It takes more than 8 swings with a heavy hit on a sledgehammer.
Not if you have Berserker. It takes 4. I tested that out as well. With a
There.
hammer.
Yeah.
Anyways.
For anybody who doesn't know, which would well, there might be a few. If you crouch down in front of the bear, the little intestines on it, if you shoot it, it'll shoot out like a green blood. It's bonus damage, so that's a key to kill them quickly.
Derringer penny shot. Blam.
Yes. Yes, sir. So I took a bow, firstly, before the event started, just to prove to everyone how easy it is. Yeah, Sway, how easy it is. And I fucking rocked people and showed them a piece of their own fucking medicine. I even killed 2 bow users while using it, and they could
Oh, yeah.
suck me off. Well, no, don't do that.
No.
I'm taken. But
Whoa.
Flip, sir, didn't
Where
happen.
is this going?
Yeah.
well, okay,
you know
I'll
where
make a
it's
whole
going.
mass montage
Did
for
I
you.
hear clips or lips or didn't happen?
Both.
Both. Yeah.
Oh,
But after I was done fucking around because of how much I like to meme on that, I did take the double haymaker. I didn't fan it. I'm not psycho like Rat, but I did take it. It was a lot of fun, actually. I think Colin was always onto something with the Lafat. I think he's got a baby for a reason. But I
Yep.
also took I took a lot of drilling again because I was feeling it. I was wanting my baby back, and it never lets me down. I love that gun so much.
Yeah, that's one of my
Nice.
favorites too.
Yeah. But I also stole somebody's crown and killed a streamer with it.
Oh.
So sorry, what was his name? Pedarius or whatever? Sorry about that, dude. He probably
Sorry,
didn't
not
like
sorry.
it very much. It was stolen. It was stolen.
Gone,
Yeah, no.
stolen.
I've mostly been running like weird loadouts. I had fun with the bomb lance. Even got a nasty clip with it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I watched it. It was pretty funny. It was gold. Like it's worth a watch for sure.
Hell yeah! I hope we can actually accumulate HBE
Enough,
clips and
yeah.
put enough. Maybe I'll put YouTube shorts. Maybe I'll stop being lazy and actually put out more than just the podcast. But
maybe.
Maybe.
besides that, so our guest here actually has a lot less experience with the old Desalle, and so he's had more of a fresh impression, almost as if he was just barely playing Desalle for the first time. So Sway, even though you got a limited time with the map when it first released, how do you feel about it now?
It's kind of a mix of feelings. It's very claustrophobic compared to other maps. It seems like they put so much clutter in everything, like places to hide, cover, all that. You know, the trees being redesigned, the textures being upgraded. Everything feels a lot closer than like Mammon's Gulch or Stillwater, even. So it's given me a little bit of trouble with my normal loadouts.
That's why you're
Yeah.
bringing shotguns.
Yeah, shotguns seem more effective.
Yeah.
They did make it a spectacle to look at, though. Holy
Oh
shit!
yeah.
Oh yeah,
It looks great. They fixed they also fixed a lot of the water in it too, and it looks so good and clean. Man,
the
it's
autumn
pretty.
colors are phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Would you say it's simple and clean, Tyler?
Yes, I
God
would.
damn it!
I love it.
Yeah. No, I absolutely love it. There are a couple of compounds where they made questionable changes. I haven't gotten to play on Ass Creek. I would say thank God, but I actually was a little disappointed that I did not get to play on that map. But overall, it was sort of it's an interesting experience. What about you boys?
I've honestly, in my opinion, a lot of it has been similar to the old. Like just because I haven't really been in a lot of compounds because they always spawn me in the opposite corner of the bounty, and so like I'm not really going in compounds very much. So a lot of my experience has been the same. It's just nice to be back in Desalle. So I can't really say too much, and I've only been playing again. I took sporadic breaks before the Fool event dropped, so I only have a limited time. So I'm definitely gonna have more opinions on it later.
What about you, other boys? What are we thinking?
I mean, I honestly, even the compounds that I've hated, I've really liked the way that they've changed it. It's
Okay.
nice. Everything so far has been super nice.
Yeah,
'Cause-
it is a spectacle. So
Well, it'll kind of disappoint you, Rat, but where they ripped out the front of Pearl Plantation, I thought it wouldn't be as big of a deal because I heard somebody say something about how there's going to be a lot less access. It was actually during the dev stream when they were talking about a lot of the changes. And I was like, oh, okay. So there's going to be a lot less walking around on the catwalk is what I kind of heard, like the place outside. But that's not exactly what happened. They ripped out the whole front upstairs out of the entire front room. And I don't like it. I don't like it very much. I do like the garden overhangs that they put on the opposite sides. So because the one on the furthermost north side was always there, but then they added it like mirrored on the other side, and it looks great and it feels great. But everything else about it is kind of like, I don't know so much. I don't know how I feel about that yet.
makes you
I-
wonder the
I
decision.
kind of like it. It forces more movement through the compound during a fight.
Yeah,
So
but
there was a lot of movement in the compound pre them taking it away, though. So
well,
the mirror is a nice touch, but I'd say it's a not necessarily better, but not necessarily worse.
I just
Yeah.
think that
Mostly.
a lot of people use that as a crutch too often. So I got a lot of headshots on it. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
What were you boys going to say?
That's
No,
kind
just-
of along those
yeah.
same lines.
Yeah, I think they had a reason for taking it away. It makes you wonder what the actual reason was, but I don't know. I haven't really fought there yet, so I
Oh.
can't really.
When
Add
I
too
was
much.
watching the basically the reveal trailer where they were showing like a preview of the whole Desalle, like the changes and stuff, and the text of like everything's new and improved, and I'm like, just because it's new doesn't mean it's necessarily better.
Yeah.
I do think there are a lot of things that are a good addition, but I think it's a matter of opinion at that point. Sometimes, like I think with that mirrored thing that we're talking about is that dome on top of that. I forget what it's called. But that they have that dome, and I think it kind of blocks that area off because that was you could see people over there pretty easily. So I think there's a purpose with that thing, but I don't necessarily think it's necessarily better or worse because of that though. But it's a difference.
Fair enough. What do you think, Sway? Just some of the changes about some of the compounds, even if you don't have real first impressions of them from the other time.
I have a handful of playthroughs on the old map. I would say under 20 before I took a break from the game. But the saloon with the saloon doors, I remember fighting the butcher there, and it was a nightmare because there was a lot of angles that people could shoot at you, but you couldn't
Oh
shoot
yeah.
at them. And they've kind of fixed some of that. They've made holes in the compound in spots where you can get a little bit of a better angle on external aggressors. And then the prison, I'm not a big fan of how big the hole is in the side of the prison.
I
It's
hated the
huge.
prison anyways, so
It's a rough
Massive.
place.
Well,
But it's
because
iconic.
what were you saying?
Oh, I was just saying, it's an interesting place, more iconic and whatnot, but it definitely is a
fighting there.
weird place to fight, especially since you have to kind of go up it. That's why they kind of created things for more cover. The hole in the wall isn't much different, other than it's bigger, though. So
Yeah, I was about to say it's a lot bigger because they like made the whole goddamn side
yeah,
of the
whole
wall.
side. Yeah,
Yeah, and then they added like a huge American flag, and
Mhm.
I like what they did with like the concrete wall out or brick wall, not concrete, outside of the compound. So it's more of a interesting entrance, and they did a lot of interesting things with the prison specifically because that was a hellhole, especially in the big open courtyard. They added a bunch of pieces of cover because before it was just a place you had to sprint through and you had to pray. And they also moved the stairs that were against the wall into a more outward position. So it's a little bit more snaky to get around, and it's a little bit easier to shoot from the courtyard. It's not quite as quick to get back inside. I like the prison change a lot. With Fort Bolden, I barely noticed much, but I'm glad they didn't really touch Fort Bolden because that was one of the perfect compounds.
Yeah.
A good
I
compound, but it's
I-
very convoluted.
I haven't gotten to play in the prison much at all though, so
Bounty doesn't
But-
spawn there as much, I don't think. At least up to this point that I've seen.
Yeah, I think I've
and-
only had one fight there.
Well, I played on the other one that I complained about, Stanley Cole. I didn't really notice a hell of a change on it. So, and they
Right.
didn't fix my complaint. They kind of added more holes in the compound, like Swiss cheese on the center building.
Even Ash Creek, I didn't notice much of a change. I don't know about you.
Well,
Huh.
like I said, I've only passed through. I literally didn't take time to look because I was too, I don't know, into the game for once, which is good. I was happy to be back in Desalle.
Yeah,
Right,
That's the
yeah.
point of this update at this point.
Yeah. But overall, some are more noticeable than others. And the noticeable changes, I would say all but a few are good. And even saying a few, I mean maybe one or two. You know?
Yeah.
So I overall, I think a solid job. People are claiming that they have a performance boost on Desalle, and I hope that remains over the entirety of the maps because I think specifically in Mammon's Gulch, I take quite a hit. So I don't know about anybody else, but it's been quite, pretty hard on my system.
I would argue that this map has the worst performance for my computer so far.
That's
You know, want to
interesting.
know the funny thing? This is
Hmm.
actually better optimized than all the updates of the other map. I get more frames on
It
this
is.
map than any other map, which wasn't the case when it first came out.
That's so funny.
That is
I mean,
interesting.
I've had some stuttering and stuff, but I that was more of a setting that I had, and so I've got that fixed. So, but since Desalle just dropped, they only want us to play Desalle, so I can't really compare the other
Yeah.
maps right now.
At this point,
so-
because they could have like messed with something on the others.
Right? Yeah. Who
But we
knows?
don't
Which
know
I
that.
mean, yeah, which they may or may not have, but you know, I'm sure they would have a reason for doing whatever they do. But yeah, I'm getting some good performance on this map as well.
For once, I was getting good performance in the actual hunt showdown. I can't believe it. The rust flaked right off.
Hell yeah. That's kind of what we want, but it's also, is it more of that it was actual improvement, or is it more like, you know, riding a bicycle, you kind of just don't forget? So
No, it's like walking down an alleyway at night. I'm gonna get jumped again and get the hell beat out of me.
That nicely summarizes my experience on this map so far.
Not good.
No, it's been rough. I played a few matches with Chris and somebody else last night. I think it was like 8 matches. I got 1 kill the whole time.
oh my god, that was like me last night until I started playing with other people, and then oh my god, yeah, it's been rough. Do you think that's because of the map, or is it, and you're just unfamiliar with it, or is it just because of the
I
state
think
of the game?
I think it's a skill issue on my part, honestly. I'm like 4, maybe 5 stars at best, and then when I play with people who are 6 stars, it's usually not a good time unless I'm really good at playing with those specific people.
Right. Well, I mean, at least you're saying it with your chest, so I respect that. So
No, don't get me
taking
wrong. They're all hackers.
responsibility. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Funny enough, I've already seen a few. Well, not me personally, but I've seen a couple people complaining about a few already. So, hunt team, where the hell are those? You know how the anti-cheat got fixed? Where are you? Okay. But with some of the other changes, they had like some quote unquote ghost changes. Like they had the Sparks and Martini have a new reload sound, which is weird that they share it. I don't like that.
No.
I
Yeah,
thought
that is
that was
Yeah.
kind of
weird.
unfortunate.
Yeah, it makes you
Sparks-
wonder if it's a feature or a bug, but it's probably a feature.
Well, I like it on the Sparks, but the Martini, I loved that like M1 Garand kind of ping noise it made.
Oh,
with
yeah,
an
when it
ejectable.
Popped out
The
the
uniqueness of it.
empty cartridge,
Yeah.
yeah.
But that also kind of makes the Sparks less unique as well, in turn.
Right, because
when
it's
they
more of that
both share.
slide, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they share the sound and it just doesn't. It doesn't work.
It
I don't
doesn't
like it.
slap, as the kids say.
Doesn't
So
slap.
It's like
It isn't
it's-
Fogger's money. It isn't Skibbity Riz, Ohio.
All right, shut it down.
No cap. It is no longer a
No
straight
cap.
decimal.
On God, for real, for real.
For real.
And suddenly we've entered millennial brain rot. How does that
no,
work?
it's more like
Isn't it
Zoomer
Gen
brain
Z?
rot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No,
Zoom.
no, it's millennials saying it. That's what I'm trying to
Oh.
say.
Oh, I see what you're
True.
saying. Yeah, because we are
Ah.
millennials technically.
Snap,
Yeah.
snap, snap, snap.
Getting out of it. But we also have a
Back
new
into
look.
it. No. Go on. Sorry.
Hey, I was a millennial before it was cool, so don't start.
Hell
A
yeah.
new look for the immolator. Very bussin'. And we also got
Wait, so wait.
slipped my
So
mind.
is it the colors or what's the case?
it's
It's
a
kinda-
deeper red.
Yeah, it's also like the particles look a little different. They look more on par with like
You
hot
might
bottoms.
say
It's-
it's fire.
Oh.
His chest glows now a lot more. The
Yeah, he
immolator
glows
is a
more.
lot more. He's more prominent, and the shades of red and orange they added more depth to his color.
Yeah, they did a lot of retexturing with him. I think they just wanted to keep up with Hot Bod because he looks so well
I think
made.
it was just like
So-
retexturing, and I'd say the oranges have been more vibrant, and the particles and whatnot.
Yeah, the particle
Or
effects look
another-
great.
I would just like to point out we're sitting here saying brain rot shit. Where the hell is Rat?
He's
Yeah.
typing a three-page
Oh.
intro to the person who just joined the Discord.
And I'm
Yes,
suddenly not
yes,
concerned about Rat
I'm-
anymore.
Yeah, sorry. I'm making our new member feel special.
Oh, great!
Speaking of
Fantastic.
brain rot,
He truly needs
Yeah,
to feel
send him
skibbity
brain
riz.
rot. Yeah, send him some brain rot.
I'm
Yeah, send
working
him
on
some
it.
Skibbity, Ohio.
God
Oh,
damn it, I'm trying.
and new viewers have left. Okay,
yeah,
They're
all right.
probably-
Now
all
back
right.
to the other brain rotters.
The new viewers have left to join the Discord so they can get their own special message.
oh, wonderful. But we also got the Bears, which are basically out of compound meatheads. So nailed that right on the fucking head.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say, I swear somebody at Crytek is listening to us because we've been saying they need to add something to the forest. We've said it how many episodes, Richard? Like,
Episode
So many
26.
episodes.
Rat said he wanted them to implement an armored bear.
We've
yeah,
like,
somebody's
said so
definitely
many of
listening.
this. Like, yeah, we've
Some-
added so much on this podcast.
Yeah.
I
But at
want
the
to
same
meet the
time-
person who listens to this podcast and goes, "Rat's got good ideas." That's the person I want to listen to.
At the
Say-
same time, like everyone with creativity is gonna have similar ideas.
Like
Absolutely.
and subscribe
Yeah.
to Rat for
Yeah.
some more great life advice.
Yep.
I
No.
can give all the good advice. All the best advice comes from Rat.
I have to agree with Richard. 90%, no, not even 90, 99% of it is coincidence.
Well, yeah, absolutely. They're a very creative team.
Yeah,
Well, the thing is,
absolutely.
there are so many creative people in this world, like, and with the internet, it kind of just lets everyone kind of show their creativity, and it's freaking awesome. It's awesome
Create-
how many creative type people are actually
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah, there's very creative people, and the internet's also shown us there's a lot of depravity too, like us.
Yep.
So I'm just kidding.
Don't
Furries.
love me with me.
There's
You.
always depravity with furries. They ruin everything. I mean, make everything better. I mean, I don't know.
Speaking
Okay.
of the Bears,
yeah, yeah.
Oh my god! All right, I want to give one of our
Segue.
other honorary hunters a mild shout out for two reasons. One, he just does art, and our art is his art is what we use as our PFPs on our Discord server. Gumbo John, he likes to draw and doodle in his free time. Absolutely
Love you,
stellar.
Gumbo.
Yeah.
And he
Gumbo!
also killed David Fifield in game. I forever love
Oh,
that
yeah.
guy.
He made
Wait,
David
I-
Fifield
Wait,
turn his.
okay. I haven't heard this story. I think you need to explain the
He
story to me and the other
posted-
viewers.
He posted a screenshot. He killed David Fifield, Buckwild Abrams in game. He
Like
killed
the David Fifield?
David Fifield. He killed him.
David Fifield. He made
What
he made
an
him turn his
absolute
frown
legend.
upside down field.
Hell yes, my man.
Gumbo John, congratulations, dude. You won Hunt Showdown.
Yeah, like you'll never be able to ride that high again. That's awesome.
The only way you could win bigger is by killing all of the big streamers, but let's face it, none of us can even fight those guys. None of us.
Oh no. Those guys are monsters.
Good for you guys.
Yeah.
But okay, getting back on track here because we got way off track. But with Desalle, is there anything specifically that stands out, good or bad?
The first day.
Oh man,
we have to talk about it. We have to.
I'm surprised nobody's brought it up.
Failure to launch day.
I love that Richard brought that up. Absolutely. I am sorry. I realized the Crytek team worked so hard and tirelessly to get that event up
I've
and
got
running.
positive and negative, so I'm prepared with both.
Yeah, well, I just want to say what an absolute disaster. The game got absolutely review bombed for it. I think that's
ridiculous.
It's a bit ridiculous.
It's a mixed bag for me. I can say why.
I don't think a whole game review is justified. I think it was a little outrageous to do, but it's also having that kind of quality is a bit unacceptable. But we can't sit here and send death threats and other disgusting shit like people did. Yeah. Absolutely unforgivable to anybody who did that. Put your critiques, save your degeneracy for something else.
Yep.
On the flip side of that, you got to respect Crytek for the employees themselves working as long as they did, even on a holiday, to get everything back up and running.
Yeah.
So essentially, that's the positive right there. Essentially it only took them a day. And have you guys had very many bugs or issues with going on into the
not at all.
next day?
This is the best state Hunt's ever been in. This is the best state.
One day. And that is a big positive. The fact that they got on top of it and really nipped it in the butt.
Yeah.
The negative is, of course, I do believe that people should voice their opinions. Obviously not death threats. Are you crazy? It's a fucking video game.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, clearly it's the best state the Hunt's ever been in because they just added back Arizona or Utah, whichever one it is. So
yeah, exactly.
But essentially that's the whole thing, is that I'm okay with people voicing their opinion, and if you're actually trying to voice it and basically say
in a constructive way,
until you fix this, I won't play it. But then don't play it. Actually don't play it then.
Yeah.
Don't sit there and bitch and continue to be part of the problem.
Yeah.
Stand by your words. And then I would say, okay, you can do that review, but then immediately, once they fixed it, like they did,
you better
switch it immediately.
You better actually be constructive about it, not just a whiner. And video gamers are great at being whiners, myself included. So I'm not going to say I'm not guilty.
Well,
of that.
we want to have fun, and if it doesn't work, how are we going to have fun?
Yeah, well, exactly.
It's like I said last time, the game, we get stuck on the issues that it has a lot of the time, but there's a reason that Hunt is still around and why it still has as many players as it does. Go and play any early access extraction shooter or any newer extraction shooter coming out. It's Hunt and Tarkov. Call of Duty tried one and it failed horribly. Fucking every new game lately is coming out with an extraction shooter. They all fail because there's something that they're not getting right about either the gameplay loop or just servers or something. And even with all the issues that Hunt has, and there are a lot of them,
right?
There's
a lot of issues, but the game is still really good. And I think that sometimes people just need to look at that silver lining a little bit more often.
I agree.
Look at the lifespan of the game. I mean, it's been around for 7+ years at this point. How many games die in the first year?
Yeah, seriously.
No, it's like a business. like normally most businesses die in the first year, and if a game's surviving past the first year, it's got a chance at least. That being said, like a lot of times it comes down to dumb luck if a game makes it past it. Obviously, they
Yeah,
had to put
that's part of
some
it.
work into it, but if it
Yeah.
just comes at the right time, at the all that sort of stuff, it just works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad we kind of have a general consensus though, and we're happy that they were able to buckle it down. Of course, it deserves some criticism because you can't release stuff in that state.
Yep.
But I don't believe in. I believe in constructive criticism. I think that is a lot
Most
better.
people don't seem to understand what that means.
Yeah,
Apparently,
I know. But yeah, I'm glad
But
we all kind of had that
I
consensus.
think we've also talked about the gaming world just kind of being entitled a little bit. You know,
Oh,
we have
absolutely.
so
yeah.
many games that are like so intricately made at this point, comparatively to where gaming came from, essentially. That it's like all that work. It's just like so many more components. Now it is easier to do some things, but it's also not easier to do other things,
Yeah.
etc.
There's a big distance to go between criticism and death threats.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, that's 100%.
So that's unforgivable. If you did that, that's kind of ridiculous. And sorry.
Yeah, but just
But
stand
I
by
don't.
your word if you're gonna say something.
Well, unless you're
and-
giving death threats, don't stand by your words because
then
that's
don't
ridiculous.
stand-
I mean, shit,
Thanks for clarifying that.
Fucking wasn't it The Last of Us 2 that the voice of Abby was like scared to go outside or send her kids to school because they started
Oh
trying
my
to
gosh.
dox her and fucking send death threats and all that shit
Yeah, that's
because-
ridiculous.
because
Yeah,
a
but they're
fictional
always
character was
just
killed by another
people.
fictional character that she voiced.
Yeah, that's completely unacceptable. Let's not get too off the rails though. But yeah, I would like to say absolutely. I think everybody that is tuning into this podcast is an absolute Hunt fan. I'm just thanking you for supporting a game that we all love.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for sticking around with Crytek,
Yeah.
just like we are.
Yeah, and if anybody did kind of review bomb the game because of the event, just play it a bit more and then change your review if you still feel leave it. But yeah.
Please change your review. It's been sitting at mixed reviews since the 1896 update happened.
Yeah, and it's so much better than it was before. So
At the same time, like you don't have to change it if you don't feel
right,
differently.
exactly.
If you stop playing and you want to keep it negative, you keep it negative. But if you continue to play it and you still have it negative, what the fuck are you still playing it for?
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Boys, we
Yeah.
digress. Okay, so Sway, I want to get your opinion first since you are our guest. What do you think of some of the edgy ass skins that A came out in Blood Bonds and B came out on the Battle Pass?
I'm kind of a cosmetics whore on this game. So I bought the DLC one that was like $10. Angel of Death, I
Oh.
think.
Only $6
But-
if you had the collector's edition.
Oh.
We need to
look
collect
at you,
these
money
nuts
bags.
first.
Yeah, and then juggle them.
In my
That's
mouth.
pretty
Why?
Dorothy Alice is pretty cool, but I think that the Nightmare version is a little hot topic-y for the game.
It's a little lackluster compared to the base.
Lackluster.
Alice, I think.
Yeah,
I mean, I honestly like I don't know. You'd think with a Nightmare version, they'd be going more for like an American McGee's version of Alice
Right.
as opposed to like what they did. Because
like
I don't know,
Alice and the Mickey D's.
Bride of Chucky Alice.
there's I don't know. There's just something I don't much like about the Nightmare version of Alice, where the regular version just looks that much better.
Yeah, it
Well,
slaps.
because-
Yeah.
Alice in Wonderland is a very gothic kind of tale, anyways, in its own right, in a weird way, even though it's very colorful. But essentially, like Alice as a character, like she kind of feels that way as herself, even though she's got the blues and the whites and those type of colors.
Well, my first thought was they're fucking geniuses, dude. Alice in Wonderland is such a simp thing for a lot of people, and to make an
Simp.
There
edgy
you go.
goth version,
There you go.
dude. That shit sold like hotcakes. It's everywhere, along with the female Reaper, basically, which I want for that drilling. That drilling
That
is
one's solid.
Oh yeah.
Shaper, if you will.
You know what the face looks kind of like
Just call her
wax melting.
Shaper.
I did color Shaper. You know,
Oh my
Sheeper, like yeah. You know, like She Reaper.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
So, anyways, yeah, it
was
looks like
dumb.
melted wax over like into that skeleton face, and I think that's pretty nifty. And it actually, the texturing
Yeah.
looks better than the Reaper as well. Obviously, it's a newer skin, so you know,
Have you
trying
have-
different techniques.
have you watched that version of like the female Reaper's eyes when she moves around in the light? Her
No.
eyes reflect the sunlight.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Did
it's
it
almost
say?
like they're made out of glass or something. It's wild.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
no.
glow. It looks awesome.
We're
The
And I
hunt
think
team.
The
Oh, go ahead.
dirty color of her mask is baller too. I'm glad it's not bright white like the DLC image is.
It's
Well,
more like
that's what I'm
the
saying.
bleached bone look. It looks
Better
so
texturing.
good.
like melted wax. That's what I was saying.
Like better
guys are-
yeah.
texturing. You know?
You guys are missing the two best points. A, her freaking clawed gloved fingers, which looks sick as fuck.
Shut the
Two-
fuck up.
Yeah.
The crown of thorns, literally fucking
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, the crown is actually a really
Oh
good
hell
touch.
yeah!
It's a really nice touch. It really ties it all together. I agree.
Looks
Yeah. I
super
agree.
black metal. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Well, and then what's funny, I actually like the judge skin. I know a lot of people
I
are like
love it.
another big bald guy. You're goddamn right. He's
Yeah,
gonna be
we-
relatable in a few years.
Yeah, yeah. Well, no, we need more dad bod representation, and so like I'm all for it. You know what I mean?
More rednecks,
Yeah, hell yeah.
you know, just to feel more at home with myself and everybody around me.
No, I actually really like the judge skin though. I think it really fits with the lore too, especially the lore. It's kind of cool, the stuff that him and the fool kind of are on like opposite sides of the coins. I kind of like it.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you know how everybody calls that sailor skin the Dennis self-insert skin?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now look at the judge and just add that big ass beard.
You know, I think Fiefield's into tarot. I genuinely think Fifield could be into tarot readings because I don't like that the Fool and the Judge have the same thing where they're obsessed with tarot readings. I think the Judge being obsessed with it was really cool because it kind of made no sense, but it was also in a really cool atmosphere to the Hunt Showdown kind of world where logic kind of is thrown out the window.
Mhm.
Because if the narrative is also unreliable, like everybody said, are any of his tarot readings actually accurate?
Well,
Right.
Here's
Like
why
an alternate timeline type thing, right?
Yeah.
here's why I like it though. Because them both being obsessed with the tarot cards shows that they're two sides of the same coin.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah.
And on top of that, the whole reason for the Fool's like obsession with cards is that the Pale Judge drew the Fool card and then set him loose after putting that mask on him. Like his punishment was the mask, and then he set him loose again.
Yeah.
And so that's why the Fool is obsessed with the cards. He's taunting the judge because he's using the same method as the judge
That
to
set him
piss
free.
off.
Yeah, it's like a taunting.
Yeah, so that's why I like it. They're two sides of the same coin, and it's an issue that was caused by the judge's way of judging people.
Or two sides of the opposite coin, am I right?
Oh, okay, but how are we not talking about how they've already added Harley Quinn into this game now? They have the
How we-
Joker. So, anyways, I just want there. It's kind of funny.
Well, we already have discount Batman because he wears a fucking
That's
wooden
right.
mask.
That's right.
Yeah, discount Batman. We got the Joker now, and then we had Harley Quinn.
Yeah,
Judge
that's all
kind of
come
looks
together.
like Oswald Cobblepot,
Who
the
does?
penguin. The judge.
The judge, yeah, he kind of does, yeah.
He's
Oh
a
man.
little too big. More like a pin in his king, am I right?
Oh,
I mean,
that's
He could be
Marvel.
Mr. Freeze too. He's kind of pale.
but-
Maybe you
Oh,
should
God,
ask
now-
what killed the dinosaurs.
the Ice Age.
Ah,
The
Snow map
last
when,
melon.
Crytek?
Yeah, exactly. I was
Way
just about to
better
lead
Yeah.
that
for
into
that.
it.
So long now, so do
dude,
it.
the autumn leaves in this map make me want snow in Mammon's Gulch so bad.
I actually really appreciate the autumn aesthetic. It was really emphasized, like it was
In
there
the-
kind of before, but
Yeah.
the new engine really emphasized the colors a lot more. The yellows are brighter, the oranges are brighter. Everything's
obviously-
deeper,
Obviously, the
contrast, et cetera.
textures are better too. I'm
It-
glad they waited. Before I know it was a long wait, but I'm glad they waited because it probably wasn't ready yet, and I'm
They
glad we waited.
probably had this in mind, but just had to kind of push it back a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I think the reason I like Desalle a lot more than I used to, because like now I would rank it as one of my favorite maps. It doesn't feel samey. Like it used to all be the same color. Like if you played the Scarecrow in the Desalle map, you just couldn't fucking be seen anywhere because it was all the same color. And now it's nice. It's
I
brighter.
felt that
and-
way about the first two maps, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, the first two maps I mix up a lot because they look so similar.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
Desalle has the, like, even though it was kind of quote unquote samey, it had that rock, like that kind of orangey rock. It wasn't too bright, like it was still bright, but not as bright as it is now, but it kind of was a good contrast to the other maps.
All right,
Yeah, I'd
but,
agree.
I do want to kind of move things along a bit here because we do have the new trait Catalyst. We were just talking about how it makes you fan the precisions and the haymaker. Well, we mostly just talked about the haymaker, but we've also got some of the other traits, the center place where you actually go to in the map, which is basically pretty accurate to how Richard described it, of like where one of those towers usually sits on top, but instead it's like a ladder climb to a center clue. How are we feeling about A, Catalyst, and B, just having that little rotating place back?
Love
I
the
think-
rotating place.
Yeah, I like the rotating place. I think Catalyst, though, personally, I think it needs to be easier to get and not just in the one spot. Maybe put it on the other
Scattered
cards
a
and
bit.
stuff.
It seems
is
a little
scattered.
bit.
Okay.
Seems
Make
a little too solo
bear.
focused.
Drop Catalyst.
Okay. Solid
Yeah.
idea.
I feel like Catalyst is just they're trying to keep the game balanced. I'm like, oh, now you have to
Uh-huh.
carry this extra trait, but it's also like then just nobody's gonna use your new traits. Then like you got to pick a lane. So
Well,
I
it's-
don't know.
It seemed like there was quite a few that made it more solo beneficial. Like there was a few like that was regular benefits, but I think there were some traits that were basically saying solo only. Am I right, or is it something else?
There was a few. It was
Yeah, there's a few.
Frontiersman's one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Space was one, but was that solo only,
No.
or is that
No.
Oh,
What they ought to
I
do
think
is
it's only. I
Catalyst
think there's
act
only
as a-
one.
They ought to let Catalyst act as a secondary. If you have Necro, you can burn Catalyst first to resurrect somebody, and then use Necro a second time.
never? Necro
Yeah.
needs to not be a thing.
Agree
I mean,
with
no,
Richard.
I'm
Yeah.
saying
Keep it down.
make that a team only thing, not a solo thing, because that was
No, even
Annoying.
worse. Teams don't deserve it that much. No,
Down
absolutely.
with the
No,
Necro.
the
All the
reason,
Necro players freaking
hot
out.
take. Well, hot take for any of you motherfuckers from the previous bullshit, and I want to hear none of it. You're all fucking wrong. The problem with Necro was the fact that every motherfucking team can Necro over and over and over.
Yeah,
I've had
it's
people
so
that
old.
Necroed while I killed them, then I had to go re-kill their teammate. Fucking dog shit. Don't ever do that again.
I'm
Never.
honestly, you guys know how I feel about Necro. I'm
we-
obviously with you here.
This is probably the best
Solos-
fix rather than taking it out.
The
Yeah.
solos were less of a
The lamp.
problem to me. Well, the solos were less of a problem to me personally. I really don't think because them rosing over and over, I was just securing my KD at that point.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but a lot of people MMR they abused it with that
Yeah.
too.
I don't even like solo necro even as it is, so I'm a necro hater probably at this point. But
Oh, no.
I wouldn't go that far. I
I am a
Yeah,
necro hater,
but-
I do think it belongs in the game.
I
in
do
some
think it's
capacity.
okay at where it's at. It's still annoying having to watch somebody, watch them burn out. It really emphasizes that whole burning thing that I have never
Just-
liked.
Just slap a fucking bear trap under their feet. They won't survive the necro.
If you take bear traps, but
Yeah, if you have the normal,
No.
like Richard and
I see your point, though.
we just I don't want to have to carry bear traps just to solve the necro problem though. That's a whole slot, and it's like Richard and I we just dealt with a necro earlier today
Yeah.
where we burned him. He clearly had resilience and
Yep.
the slow burning because when he
Yeah.
got up. I shot him, he survived. Richard knifed him, he survived, and we had to
So-
hit him again. And he was burning for like a minute at this point too.
So I
So,
didn't
like-
actually hit him with the knife on the first time. It was just seemed kind of baloney because I was aiming at his chest and I was really close to him, and then it like whiffed as he's
Oh,
getting up, almost like
okay.
his butt stuck out, and then it like hit that small area.
but still, we were on his body, and we still had to hit him multiple times because of all those traits. Like, yes, it's a legitimate strategy, but I think you're a coward if you take him. I'm just gonna throw that out there. So you guys know how I feel about Necro. So
More relevant to the actual event, the burn changes. Has
Mhm.
anybody really been able to notice or tell? I mean, I think that the slower burn is pretty solid.
well,
I mean,
in
because
the
of the
Necro
slower
case,
burn?
no, because of what Richard and I just had to deal with. I don't like it, but
yet another thing I brought up forever ago, the tiered burning. I said that it would be nice if they had it
yeah,
tiered like bleed, and it is.
yeah. So
and
it's probably a
everybody
good
burning
change,
the
yeah.
same speed regardless of salve skin while they're downed is
Well,
nice.
Wasn't it slightly like it was kind of tiered to some degree? Like
No.
No.
At one point it was, and then they
Yes.
took the tiered burning away,
yeah,
and then they added it back.
Well,
Okay,
except
yeah.
it's a bit different because it's only
Yeah, it's a
two
bit
tiers. It's only two tiers. I mean, technically, there's like light, medium, and extreme burning when you're standing. So that exists, but it's a little bit different. But the tiered burning on the ground has never existed to my knowledge.
Yeah, and
But-
it doesn't exist anymore either because you just
Well, this
burn
burns-
fast regardless.
No, it does. It does exist because there's an extreme 5 seconds of burning when you ignite the hunter. If it is a firebomb or a lantern or something, a fire that sticks under their body, they stay on the extreme burning level, which
Yep.
isn't. It's like the old burning level from where it was just removed, and self skin no longer helps you in that regard, which is why it lost a point and is cheaper. But now it gives you an excuse to take firebombs again. Firebombs have some kind of relevancy. They not unintentionally. They intentionally gave firebombs a purpose. Again,
So what's the difference between a hellfire and a firebomb then at this
Well,
point?
Hellfire
no.
instantly gets rid of the 25 when you hit them,
yeah.
no,
but if
no.
they're downed, it doesn't, and
No,
it just
it gets
keeps
rid of
firebombs
50.
on the same level while they're down. Oh, it's 50?
50.
Yeah, it's more.
Okay, but yeah,
'Cause
they,
it has to
it,
be
it
stronger,
instantly
right?
gets rid of some health.
Yes,
What about if
it-
they're downed? I guess already.
No.
in your no, it doesn't.
Well,
do that.
No,
Hellfires burn out quickly, and that's the downside to them. Is they're like a frag bomb, but a fire bomb. But they're incredibly useful because they do so much fire damage when they hit them
living
alive.
Yep.
Yeah, to living hunters.
Okay.
Because it's the range of a big dynamite bundle, but it's the downside of it only being a firebomb.
Uh-huh.
So, and then liquid firebomb being the best, it burns the longest and can burn on water.
Uh-huh.
And if they're underwater, it can char them slowly, but it can char them.
It can burn them now.
Oh, can it? I don't actually
can-
know that.
It's in the patch notes.
you now.
You can burn them underwater now. It's in the patch notes.
So
Thank God.
Sculptor's upping is great. Ugh,
So-
fucking hell.
So it sounds like they made a lot of changes to Burn that I actually wasn't really aware of. So I think it's good then if that's all the changes they made. I think it was still ridiculous that Richard and I had to deal with that solo, but that's an isolated incident. So
Yeah, fuck you, Necro.
yeah. No,
Hey,
I do.
Killer Sue.
I do think Necro does belong in the game, but like I don't believe in taking it out. But I am not a fan of.
It's
Necro.
at a place where it's reasonable at this point.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah.
Still don't like solo play, but anyways.
Okay. So, Rat, I imagine you have up the poll and I think it's just a comment this time around, but do you want to pull that up for us?
Yes, just 1 second.
Pull that
Because,
up. Poll.
I closed the app and wasn't thinking about it.
Oh, you're solid. I don't want to rant too much on random shit. I think it's great. I don't want to spend too much time on one thing when we want people, they want to hear about
No,
the event.
fuck
know?
you,
Okay.
fuck Necro, and
No.
fuck your poll.
So we have
Well,
a position open again. So I'm going to go ahead and mute Richard while I'm out ahead here.
Yeah, he's going back
All
into
right,
the
go for it.
back in the
So
basement.
Martin says, on the premium currency aspect, I personally spent way more money on blood bonds back when they were abundant than I do now because it felt good to amass them and top up to get the skins I want. Now it just feels like I'm saving enough for the next battle pass and nothing else. I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of
Yeah.
where I'm with it. I
Yeah.
spent a lot of time using blood bond. Like I spent a lot on blood bonds when they were abundant. And now it's like I just play to get the challenges done,
Yeah.
to get the blood bonds, and then save up for the next battle pass.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as well. I mean, obviously they gotta make money somehow. A game like this requires money to run, but I do think we should still be able to earn.
I
more
think
blood
a lot.
bonds.
I think a
I
lot of
don't
the
know.
disparity or a lot of the issues that people take with it comes from, like it was already a game we had to buy. So like the premium currency shouldn't be pushed as much as it is.
Yeah,
It's any more than any other game. If I'm being
yeah,
honest.
I was gonna say the same thing, but that doesn't mean it's not a problem either.
Yeah.
Because modern gaming, because of Fortnite, has been kind of
That's free. to play,
everybody's.
though.
Yeah, but it's free to play, but everybody spends so much money on it. But
Call of Duty isn't. And Call
yeah,
of Duty
Call
does
of
the
Duty
same
isn't,
thing.
and they're
that is
yeah,
more
and that's
ridiculous.
and that's what I'm saying is that it's not necessarily Fortnite's fault, but everybody's trying to copy Fortnite, and so like because of the monetization in it, and so like I mean, look at Overwatch 2, look at Call of Duty, like Halo Infinite, they're all doing the same thing, trying to emulate Fortnite while also.
Well,
I guess Halo Infinite's multiplayer was free. But
Fifield's background is from Call of Duty, isn't it?
It is.
yes, yeah.
So
I
there's
think-
And Halo.
Well, I think
Yeah.
Ty's on this. Ty's got a great point because they can't emulate the amount of because where the real money from Fortnite comes from is the skins they add to the game, and they add them so fast. Not even in a battle pass, but they add so many interesting ones so fast that they're able to keep up a currency because they have an art team that is so far ahead of anyone's game, and they're constantly adding shit and interesting stuff that people constantly want to purchase. And I think Hunt could have that because even with these Alice in Wonderland skins and some of these other gun skins where people are like, wow, those are so fucking good. If they can get to a level where they add those blood bond ones faster, but keep the battle passes interesting and accessible, they're going to reach that level where they could be financially stable in this game.
Right.
Mark my words.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Hunt does it better than other games too with the whole battle pass thing. They're relatively cheaper than most games are. But
Well,
obviously there is still the problem with us not being able to earn blood bonds just
I
by
agree.
playing the game. So, and I think that's the biggest issue that people have, especially comparatively for how Hunt used to be before
well,
1896.
hot take. Take away the DLCs where it's a direct payment with a money tag attached to it. Make blood bonds more easily accessible again. add a shit ton of all these DLCs and all these ideas to the Bloodborne store. People are so fucking stupid. I know this is really mean to say, but people are so fucking stupid. They see a premium Bloodborne currency on it. They don't equivalate it to dollars, and they just look at numbers and don't think about actual money. You'll make so much more money if you just stop selling it as a DLC.
Yeah, as DLC, keeping DLC and like currency and having the Bloodborne currency is kind of I don't want to say backwards. It's just kind of redundant. Yeah.
Well, and then they could pick and choose what they want from that DLC and not be like, oh, wow, I have to buy this and get another shot skin that I don't give a shit about.
Right. Yeah. Maybe be able to pick and choose out of bundles or make bigger bundles. I don't know. I just think it's obviously I'm not on a marketing team. I don't really know too much about that type of stuff, and what I say is probably all incorrect anyways, but like I don't know. I think having the two different systems is a problem in and of itself.
Well, and one of the problems with that's having two different systems is that they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot with sales, because when you log into the game and you go to the store tab, you see the Dorothy skins, you still see the Silver Wing bundle, you see Queen Bee, but you don't see the Angel of Death's DLC. It's nowhere to be found on the store page. The only way you'd see it is if you go to the Hunter tab and look for it.
No.
Right.
If you go onto the store page, scroll down twice. There's the all DLC. And there's a big banner for the Ghost.
Yeah, just two
DLC.
Yeah, but
steps.
Again, it's another
Right.
extra steps, and they're not all together. Like
They should
that's
have
what
it
he's
right
saying.
at the top of the screen so that the new stuff is like right in your face when you go to the store,
Yeah.
so that they can drum up sales from it. Because having it hidden 3 menus deep is the reason why everybody wanted them to revert to the old menu system in the UI.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Literally.
Crytek, scrap it, make it all blood bonds. Just get rid of the DLC, because people
Yeah.
think of that in a really negative way. Get rid of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having said that, people also view microtransactions as a negative, but this is two forms of
Bullshit.
microtransactions. So
Bullshit, because as you said, Fortnite proved that point, because you'll have the bitchers and then you'll have the people who will pay
like I
big anyway.
like I said, Fortnite ruined gaming, not on purpose, but everybody tries to copy it. So
Well,
that's
if
my
that's-
Default
but-
dance here.
If that's
Hell
the
yeah.
system to keep this not gravy train that in place, they're making a lot of money. Sorry, Crytek. But if it keeps this train rolling, then I'm all for it. Rat, get us the
Absolutely.
poll. We are
All right.
digressing.
All right. So the question was least favorite compact ammo rifle. Frontier 73C got no votes. Infantry 73L got 2 votes at 33%. Lamette Carbine got 1 vote. Whoever that person is, I will fight you in the street. I will fight you in the streets. Bare knuckle boxing. I'll probably
They
lose,
said
but I
least?
will.
Yeah, least favorite.
Oh, I'm with them.
Carbine?
Get out of my face, Rat.
What?
Well, I did miss the Ranger. That is my bad. I don't think anybody would have picked the Ranger anyway, but I did miss the Ranger. It's just another fucking wasn't killed. Sorry.
Dude, you were like, you sounded like you had a cock in your mouth that whole.
What the fuck?
That made us
I
static.
think there's a different way we could say that.
Yeah, it was very staticky.
I think I'm
maybe
having
repeat that.
connection issues. That's
Yeah,
all.
Oh, you are good
Maybe
Continue.
now.
repeat that. Maybe repeat it.
Well, because I missed the Ranger 73. I
Who
didn't
would
mean
vote
to.
for that?
Nobody would vote for it.
Yeah,
That's all I'm
it's the
saying.
I
best
love
one.
that gun.
It's
Yeah.
the best one of the compact.
Yeah, that's it.
Now the
If it-
Lamette, no.
Oh,
No.
Richard.
Lamette's trash.
No!
Trash
Sweet!
Matt.
Sweet.
Go with the Lamette.
No, Lamette
Remove
is like
that shit.
Lamette's
Jesus
so
Christ.
good.
Start
All right.
all right. Start all right. All right.
All right. Can we get this over with, please?
And then
Great
the
bussin', no cap.
officer carbine also got 1 vote.
What the
These are opinions. Calm down.
No, they're wrong.
And then the marathon got 2 votes.
Oh my god, what is wrong with
What?
you people?
Well, guys, keep in mind it's compact. It's just like if somebody said long ammo. Somebody's gonna say Mosin, and that's just gonna be a wrong answer. But that doesn't mean that their opinion is wrong. It's their opinion.
I know.
if you-
They're just different from my opinions. But having said that, I like compact ammo, so it's hard to pick a least favorite. So
if you
If they got
squish
good, they'd like the
down-
marathon.
Well, mine's the Frontier 73C. I think that the small Winnie is the worst, but I'll still always fucking use it. I love that thing, but that doesn't saying it's the worst doesn't imply that it is bad.
yeah, that is
Yeah,
bad.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if
I
you
was just having
squish-
fun with the answers. So
If
Fair
you
enough.
squish the long ammo down in a Mosin, then it's compact, and then you could say the Mosin.
okay, I guess.
And I'm guessing Sway was the one to vote for the Lamat carbine.
Actually, no, I voted for the Frontier.
Oh well, shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
whoever said Lamat Carbine, we're gonna fight.
God damn. All right,
You and me
boys.
shooting range right now.
be in this podcast right now.
All right, boys. Subject. So, Ty, what'd you bring us?
It's kind of a little one. This one more applies to you since you're Prestige 100. What would you? And I guess it could be like a double question since Sway's here too. But like, what would you like to see as besides battle passes, DLC, all this stuff to keep a player to keep playing this game? Like, what do you think they could add?
That's a really tough question because the recipe is already kind of perfect, and I know a lot of people would be like, "No way." Well, the game speaks for itself. We literally keep coming back even when there's not an event. And as for the people who expect an event, well, they come when there's an event. So, what could we really do? I mean, we could definitely add statistics, a number of kills on
Prestige
guns.
system.
Yeah.
Yeah, more robust prestige. Add the level 25 back. I can't believe they haven't
Oh
reverted
my
that.
god, I can't either.
It's for
Stupid as fuck
grind.
change.
It's
Yeah,
a
it's
grindy thing.
it's not a difficulty thing. You're just depriving people. Let them get up there. It's stupid as fuck. And add that replay value because not everybody has, or sorry, the replay system, because they want to be able to rewatch their gameplay and record it, and not everybody's on PC has a third-party software to just clip whenever they fucking desire. People play on console. Give them a replay to actually record their gameplay.
Yeah, no, those are all great ideas. One idea I had, you know how they have the tiered hunters, for those like legendary quote unquote hunters that like you unlock
I do love them.
more. Yeah, the rookies. So like, what if they added more of those, and then maybe even did that for some gun skins or something too? I think that would be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I think
Get a
they
certain
should
amount of
add
kills
those
with guns.
add those into the prestige system more so than
Yeah.
they already are. Because there's like 40 levels of the prestige system where all you get is 2,000 hunt dollars. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly. Because you only get it for that one prestige, anyways. Because once you spend it, it's gone, and it's just yeah. I agree, but no, I think where you were saying it was kind of like a perfect recipe already. I can see what you're saying, but like I know that a lot of people would like to hear other things too being added for level 100s because we're getting to that point. Richard and I were talking about it today. Like Hunt is old enough to where there are more and more Prestige 100 people coming out every day, and so they're just like creating new accounts and stuff because they want more progression. They ride that high, which I mean, I feel like a lot of us are guilty for, myself included. So I don't know. But the other part of the question, I guess, since Sway's here, like he's kind of newer, what would you like to see to keep new players in instead of old players?
They kind of added something that I thought was cool in this patch, the bots for the low levels.
Yeah.
I think it's level 11 and down.
Yeah, we were talking
that
about
needs to be level 50.
50
that it
for
needs-
the first
I-
prestige.
For the first prestige. I think
Yeah.
it needs to ride out with mixed lobbies for the first 50 levels of the first prestige. I think that would
Yeah.
go a long way.
Yeah, because you have one good game, especially at level 1. Like right when you start a prestige, you extract the bounty, you're like level 10 already, basically. So that'd be like 1-2
Exactly.
games if you have decent games with bots already, which you will have because they're bots, and so you will only have like 1 or 2 games out of the bots. So
Well, and please add an option to bring them into the shooting range for moving targets, please.
yes, that'd be
With a
so
difficulty scale.
yeah, or even like being able to turn on like zombies or specials and stuff too.
Yeah, turn on those bots.
So,
Yeah.
but
You turn me on.
here's what
Ooh.
I'm thinking as far as like just for more reason to prestige. Um, I just looked through the entire store, and as of right now, and this is after playing for 5 years, being at Prestige 25 right now, and actively having bought a lot of stuff from the store. I currently still have 72 weapons and equipment skins, 24 hunters, 10 charms, and 5 animations for a total of 111 items that I can still unlock. And that's just from the Blood Bond store. If they made it so that you got
Blood bonds, yeah.
if you got just a random free skin from the store every time you prestiged, that would give people a reason. You would get 100 skins just from prestiging on top of like the bonus skins that they already give in prestige. I
Yeah.
think that would absolutely give people reason to prestige and to play
keep
more
playing.
and
Yeah.
keep playing.
Yeah, obviously, I think that might hurt
It
Crytek's
could
wallet a
work.
little, but it could work if they keep the players too at the same
It-
time.
It could work if they even went so far as to do minor skins like commons in the prestige system every
Yeah,
2
because-
levels or so for guns.
Because we have fucking rarity in the for some reason still. So yeah, but yeah, I
Like
would agree.
Well, like they added all of the tier 2 and tier 3 into the Blood Bond store, so you can buy them. And there's still a bunch of tier 2 and 3 hunters that they still haven't added back into the game. And when
Yeah.
they do, that's going to give another like I think 12 that you can buy. So
Right.
even if they gave just one random skin every time you prestiged and then kept level 25, level 50, level 75, and level 100 as the set ones that they already are, that fixes most of it. That alone would give people a reason to keep playing because they'd be like, oh, you can unlock these cool things that I keep seeing every game without having to spend money. And
Yeah.
then that would give people a reason to play because and they would come back every week for the blood bonds because then when the next event comes out they don't have to pay for the battle pass if they just don't spend their blood bonds.
I think
Aren't we
giving
still
people
missing a
blood
bunch
bonds
of-
too. Giving people blood bonds for prestiging, I think, could also help too.
Aren't we still missing a bunch of skins that could essentially be used as rookies, veterans, and survivors?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
yeah,
we're
that's
still
what he was
missing
saying. Yeah.
we're still missing like the tier 2 green shirt Bayou Luigi.
Yeah, and
Like we're
needs to come
missing
back.
a lot of those. So on top of these battle passes, if they added all of those to the store and they just gave a random free skin, because it could be a gun skin, it could be an animation, it could be a charm. Like, I don't think it takes a ton to make new charms. They already have a shitload as is, and they add more every time there's an event.
Charms
Reddit
So-
would riot. Reddit
Well-
would riot if those skins ended up back in the Blood Bond store.
Charms associated with accomplishments, 100 headshots with the Lamat pistol, and then it's
Yeah.
specifically equipped to the Lamat. That would be really cool, and it would be a
Yeah.
symbolism of I killed a hunter who's really experienced with this gun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
I do. I love that idea.
Just small things like that I think would go a long way to keeping players, because right now as a new player, if you join the game, it feels like there's a ton of stuff that you can unlock and it's going to take forever to get them because you're making I think roughly 40 blood bonds every week.
Yeah.
It's pretty small. And that, well, if it's an event and if you get the battle pass, because that unlocks the 5th challenge, then you can get 50 a week. But yeah, no, tearing that away. I still think they should bring back a bit more of the ability to get them naturally and then just take away the DLC title altogether.
Yeah,
I want to double down.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Well, I'm glad we all were able to kind of bring our thoughts into that. That actually went on a bit longer than I thought it would. So.
Oh hell yeah, Rat. What is your subject?
So it's not so much a subject as it is a 3-page synopsis on why the Remote Carbine is not a bad gun and that person is wrong.
I've got a
Oh my God.
5-page counter argument that's made at a collegiate level. So
Did you literally summarize this and change
No.
your subject just because of that one fucking person?
No, I'm
he's
just
upset.
kidding.
He thinks it's me, or is it?
Oh.
No,
Civil War.
I was just being dumb. So based on like the changes that they've made in Desalle to the various compounds, just kind of piggybacking off of the first subject, what kind of changes would you like to see them go back into the other maps that are already in the game and make changes in a similar vein? Like with Pearl Plantation, they basically took out the entire top level.
Yeah.
With like there's a lot of really cool changes that I've seen in Desalle that haven't been, or that have been more drastic than some of the ones that they've made in Stillwater Bayou, Lawson Delta.
Right.
So like
Exactly.
what kinds of things would you guys like to see changed in specific compounds on the other maps?
Oh, specific? Because I was gonna say overall on Stillwater Bayou, I would want a few more random shacks, a few more like random, maybe just broken down brick buildings, not even in the compounds. It looks like somebody was going to build something there, but not quite. A couple more toppled wagons, a bit more pieces of cover out in Stillwater, because Stillwater's still pretty fucking open and difficult
Yeah.
to navigate.
All the
Oh, I
water.
agree. Especially after
Mhm.
playing Desalle now, where Desalle actually feels more covered than it used to. Yeah, I agree. I think Stillwater feels like the most open map now.
It feels
Yeah.
dangerous to walk through. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny because it completely flip flopped because we thought that Stillwater had cover and then Desalle was so open. It's just so funny how it's so different now, like in a good way in my opinion. So
Yeah.
And
Any other thoughts? Oh, sorry.
For me personally, I'd like to see a little bit more drastic of a change to like the Lawson train station or the
Ash
prison, just or Ash Creek or the other prisons in
Wait, that's Desalle.
the other maps.
Ash Creek
Well,
is
yeah,
Desalle,
but
right? Sorry.
yeah, it is. But like I'd like to see a little bit more drastic of a change to like the prisons in the other maps.
Right, because they did a lot of changes to Pelican. I think Nichols is the most convoluted place ever. I hate it.
I would bust down
Any
more of the
change.
walls in Nichols.
Yeah, it's just so crazy to navigate that thing. I mean, it's supposed to be. It's a prison, so I understand why it's that way. But I dread fighting there. So
well, even if it was more broken down walls inside of the prison, you can keep the outside walls. Holy shit, the inside is such a pain in the ass.
absolutely, yes. Yeah, I would agree, especially like how there's like 3 levels. Oh my god, what is that? So yeah, I would agree.
Crazy.
Changes I would like to see though, personally, and this is going to be no surprise because you're all going to agree. Add the weather stuff again. Add the rain, add the ash, add the fire.
God, yes.
That's what I would like to see them improve anything next map wise. Just have it random. Have the traveling circus maybe show up here and there, have like the bear in there, and then have like the clown zombies around the circuses. So mine's more of an overall change, not specific changes, but I don't know. I think that would go a long way, especially with the new engine. Can you imagine the fires in the new engine? Oh my gosh, it'd be so pretty.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Dude, can you imagine Ash Bloom in the new engine?
Oh yeah. Get them particle effects every time you're trying to aim down your sights.
Well,
What about
they
you,
would
Sway? Oh, sorry.
effectively be able to eliminate the particle effects in the scopes because the new engine actually supports that.
Well, right, but that was also intended at first. Was
Yeah.
what they were saying, and then they kind of were like, "Oh, I think we went a little too hard on
Yeah,
that."
they're
So
saying
I
stop
don't
taking scoped weapons, you morons.
I just remember them spawning in the scopes.
Definitely.
yes, they would spawn in the scopes.
What about you, Sway? What do you think?
I don't have any specific compounds, but I think it would be cool to see seasonal variations of the maps. So like Stillwater, where all the water is frozen over, so like you slide across the lake when you try and run across it. That'd be kind of wild.
I
It would be
love
kinda
that. God, that would be so much effort on their part, and we can
Yeah, it
barely
would.
ask what we ask. But I don't hate that. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah, it's a great
And then
idea.
like
actually.
a autumn version of Stillwater or an autumn version of
Can you imagine how
Lawton.
pretty that would be?
Yeah.
Right. They've
No.
done it to themselves. They exposed us to Desalle like this, and now I want it everywhere.
You're right.
And
That's
then they
what did
exposed
when
us
they
to
did
like
the rain.
all of the they exposed us to all the weather effects and then took them away.
Yeah.
Yep. But they're
That's-
trying to be a live service game like Fortnite. So
They
I mean,
picked
they
a hell of a
kind of
time.
have to be.
yes, they
though.
did.
They're playing
No, it-
catch up right now.
Well,
Yeah,
lo-
exactly.
they lost on a game like Rise Son of Rome and had to double down, and then they almost didn't make this IP, and then they went, wait, let's let this save our fucking our entire brand, and it ended up succeeding, and they're like, wait, we weren't ready though.
Yeah, I mean,
Time out.
because I mean, at that point, like there was a lot of issues with the.
This
with,
sounds like a job for Fifield.
I mean, it was like
Relevant.
the Crytek team
Da-da-da-da.
was small already because of all of that stuff that was happening. So definitely picking up a lot of pieces. That's kind of what this game has been the culmination of, is like a lot of broken pieces. So which is really cool, I think.
Well,
So
I have to eat crow, haha, because I legitimately am always playing this game, so they succeeded. And not only that, I am sitting here making mild complaints when it is literally one of my favorite games to play. So Crytek, well fucking done.
yeah, literally, like we even whine a lot about this game a lot, but we always come back to play it. So
That's true.
I think it
Most
says
hours
something.
I've gotten into any game on Steam, so
Yeah,
tells you something.
Yeah.
yeah.
Especially
All
with
right.
how many hours Sway has in survival games.
Ooh.
Jerry.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
Maybe
No,
after
no,
the podcast.
this is a podcast, or this is an intervention or disguised as a podcast, Sway. We think you have a problem. And
Yeah, I forgot to hit record.
That's the real problem here.
Oh yeah.
All right,
Watch, it's
so
actually gonna happen one day, and we're gonna like freak out.
Haven't we done that before?
I did-
swear.
I'm not sure, but Sway, do you have a subject by chance?
Like anything
I
you want to
actually
bring up.
do. I actually
Yeah,
do have a
alright.
subject. It's a
Let's do it.
hypothetical.
Okay.
Cool.
So let's say Hunt succeeds, but it eventually
No.
hits that like 10-year mark, right? And Crytek announces they're releasing a sequel.
Oh,
What year and what location would you guys like to see Hunt Showdown 2 take place in?
well,
first-
technically, isn't 1896 technically a sequel in its
It's-
own right?
It's technically a sequel, but I do
Because
appreciate
the update
what
on
he's
the
asking
Cry
here.
engine.
I would
Yes.
want it to be in Los Angeles, so California can be on fire even more and have more chaos. It'd be hilarious.
but Dead Island exists.
Yeah, but Hunt's special, you know, like a budding Los Angeles would be really cool, you know, like with all the Western stuff, and all like the voodoo stuff. Like it would be cool, I think.
Uh-huh.
Probably in their early 1900s, like very early 1900s, before.
Shortly after this takes place.
Yeah, I would say maybe literally 1900, but
Agree.
yeah, I think that would be cool if they went further west.
I would say as far as China or Japan.
Oh, dang! Going for the big
Here's
guns.
another one, Australia.
Oh, Australia would be awesome, actually.
Good
In
God,
the late
EU boss would be
1800s, early
wild.
1900s, any of those locations would have like the industrial age, like kind of hitting it in a weird way because those places kind of they had to adapt pretty quickly, anyways, to the industrial age. So it would create a lot of that mixture of the industrial with the more classical elements of, or not classical, but like in China or Japan, like you have
Right.
those really cool
But they
pagodas, I think. And then Australia, you know, their history and freaking the
development and
outback,
stuff.
you know, it's freaking awesome.
Yeah. Well, like, and
big
then
cousin,
obviously they
The
could
emu.
they could obviously like not be as developed as they were in actual history because of the plague that's been hitting
In
the
that
bayou and
particular
stuff.
area. And a
Yeah.
tiger, you know.
Oh, a tiger boss would be crazy.
Gorilla, maybe.
And it would be
Australia's cool because they could have hunters like that Australian bandit guy that made a full suit of metal armor so that he could rob trains.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Actually
it would
sick.
be
Lots of
called
potential.
it'd be called Hunt Showdown 2 Electric Boogaloo. So.
Electric, get it? Because electricity was becoming more abundant.
Oh,
Realistically, I know that the actual death of the Wild West was kind of around the 1890s. So, but approximately when it started ending in the actual Louisiana era, because could you imagine, you know, a new chapter of Hunt begins and maybe there's a bit more modern takes to it, modern in the sense of the age that it takes over, of like the early 1900s, those kinds of guns. So it's a bit more advanced. It's a little bit less slow, but it still maintains the pace of Hunt Showdown. And basically, when the Old West dies, the New West begins, but it's still filled with corruption and they haven't quite figured it out. I think that'd be sick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I
I was kind of leaning towards like Chicago, like mafia
Oh.
gangsters Chicago, but Hunt Showdown.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Oh wow! So like,
Yeah.
we're talking quite a few decades in the future.
Yeah,
Well-
yeah, but you know, you driving around with your buddies through some busted suburb of Chicago, and there's zombies walking around, and some boss jumps out, and you hop out of your 1950s hot rod car with your Tommy gun and lay into him.
See, this is where the shared brain cell is, because I was thinking 1920s Ireland, because that was when the Irish Republican Army formed.
Right. Yeah, that's
Because-
interesting. I like that.
And then you could give us stuff like pipe bombs. The slingshot could be a weapon, because that was actually widely used in the IRA. And it was used like to crazy effect. And it wouldn't be that far from 1896. It would only be 24 years in the future. There would be
After-
cars,
After
but
World
it would
War
be
One, though.
yeah, and there would be cars, but it would be like, you know, the ones you have to crank from the front to start.
I like it. I guess
mean-
the question is, does the corruption worsen and spread across the world to create this scenario?
I
Or is
think
it like-
so. I think
That's
so.
where
It
mine
would
comes
have
in.
to. It would have to. Yeah.
That's where mine comes in. That's the
Yeah.
reason to why it would be somewhere in the Pacific.
Which would kind of halt the progression of technology to keep things slow. Still, I think.
But
Yeah.
I think that would kind of make sense with at least more in accordance to the original lore or something.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
just the lore in general. I think it would make sense where it just would start somewhere and then it would slowly grow out. And, you know, people traveling overseas brings the corruption over almost like a plague, but not exactly the same. But
Right. Yeah, just like the folly of man, basically.
Yep.
Great subject, though. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, Richard, let's hear it.
he had to be last.
You had to like swallow deeply for a second. Be like, uh
It's
oh.
like, here it comes.
All right.
Here we go. Here we go.
On the last time of Hunt Banish Extract, the drunken bard proceeded to figure out which characters in Hunt Showdown would fit in the dreaded epic battle royale Fortnite while recording a podcast in a basement. Meanwhile, Kaiser continued to contemplate the meaning of the game and clown around his KD by refusing to use mouse and keyboard to quote, end quote, keep the fun factor. Rat really wants to maintain his 3 stars for the memes, but cannot quite decide if he wants to play better or throw everything out the door. El Maestro seems to have a sickness and may be down with it as well.
Down with it.
Elsewhere,
Get up.
Sleepy, on the other hand, is crunched right up next to his screen, legs in the air at 1 a.m., missing the last episode and that dreaded night question. Will he be able to answer the question this time? Find out on this episode now. So anyways,
the announcer, Jesus.
anyways, so first
Find out
for
next time on
Sleepy,
HBE.
which hunt characters would you add to Fortnite? This one's for you, Sleepy, since you didn't answer last time.
Oh my god.
3 of them. 3 of them.
Ghostface for sure. Definitely Post Malone.
You're a cocksucker.
What's great is none of these are actually in Fortnite.
I know. And then I don't know if Fortnite has a nun character, so obviously my Hail Mary.
Yo, disqualified.
Yeah, that's a cop-out answer though, so let me give a real one. I mean, in Fortnite they kind of have the characters that look like the Corvid characters, like the plague ones. Let's see. I mean, if we're representing Hunt Showdown, of course it would have to be
from
like
Hunt Showdown.
Yeah,
to
it would
Fortnite.
it would have to be Sheriff Hardin, right? Like
Oh, yeah.
that's like such a Hunt Showdown character, or the guy you get at Prestige 100.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name, but
John Victor.
John Victor, thank you. Shut up, Rat. So obviously it would have to be those two, maybe even both of them, and then Marshall Brewer as a third.
Ooh.
So
Good
because
choice.
they're such
Iconic
big
character.
characters, yeah. So
You gave one of my answers, one of Colin's answers, and a unique one.
what was the unique one?
Yeah.
A unique one was Marshall Brewer. I said Sheriff
Yeah.
Hardin. Colin said John Victor.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
So,
Off
I
the
mean,
wall,
I'd
the
agree with.
butcher.
I would
Just the
agree with
Witcher.
Sheriff Hardin as being a great one. Marshall Brew is actually a good one because that would be a female skin as
Right, yeah, and they could do it in like I guess a bundle or whatever they do. So like
well. Uh-huh.
however they do
See?
that. So
I love Marshall Brewer because I'm so okay. I get it. I get that we like, younger hot women or whatever the fuck. Dude, having old badass bitches slaps
Yeah,
so hard.
who they got war scars and shit. Like yeah, hell yeah. I'm
That's
with
why I
it.
like Wormbite, dude. He's like an old grave digger. He's old as shit, and he's still gonna clap your ass.
Yeah. If I had to substitute any of the characters, I would also elect either the Black Coat or Billy Story as well. So
Nice.
Nice.
You guys are
Good choice.
forgetting about the
Feminism.
researcher.
She
Oh,
is
yeah.
old,
Sure.
but she's not popular, so she wouldn't sell in Fortnite.
So would
none of
that
these
be
would
your
sell well in
answer, Sway?
Fortnite. None of these would sell well in Fortnite because nobody heard of Hunt Showdown.
I think the prescient would be cool just because it would probably sell on Fortnite, but I think the researcher and the weird sister would be good
Weird
representatives.
Sister's
of
a
the game,
good
too.
choice.
Yeah,
as
Weird-
well.
I
It
like
kinda
Weird
represents
Sister,
that voodoo aspect of it.
Yeah. Hmm.
Hell yeah.
Now I
Absolutely.
could ask another stupid question, or I could ask a more legitimate question, or I could do both. Your choice.
I was gonna say do both. Do the stupid one first.
We'll do that regular. We'll do the regular.
Yeah, we're short on time.
Definitely. Anyways, what are the new bears named? I have seen at least 3 of them, so you need at least 3 names.
Oh God.
Oh jeez.
Three
Oh, man.
Stooges. I mean,
I mean, I normally go with Yogi or Boo Boo.
you
Yeah,
can because if there's at least 3 of them, I've heard there being 3, so you gotta have at least 3.
that's true.
Loogie,
How-
Flem, and Hawk Tua.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
That's pretty
No,
funny.
it's all disgusting.
Hell yeah.
Tua. I mean, you could go kind of stupid, like bass boosted fart, wet fart, and silent
It's
fart.
silent, yeah.
I just go with Yogi, Boo Boo, and Baloo.
Oh,
Yeah,
Nice.
sure.
throw in a different bear.
Yeah. I can't even come up with the names right now.
I mean, you could do see no evil, hear no evil, and speak no evil.
Yeah, that's cool too. How about just like Bob, Fred, and Phil or something
I like
stupid?
it. I like that. I like how they're just Bob,
generic
Fred,
name.
and Phil.
Well, nobody's gonna remember stupid convoluted names. It's got to be really
Oh,
on the
I got it.
nose.
Yeah.
Stupid, convoluted, and names.
Nuanced. What is it? Oppressed and fucking marginalized.
Just call him
Oh,
Fuzzy
my
Wuzzy
land.
and get it over with.
Fuzzy was.
Fuzzy Wuzzy was a
Wuzzy.
bear.
Oh.
No, just Fuzzy, Wuzzy, and then get it over it.
No,
get it
you
over
could
with.
say Fuzzy, Wuzzy, Wuzza.
I was thinking fuzzy, cuddly, and bitch. You need to have like the on your mouth.
Yeah, like
No.
two names that would make sense in one. It's like what?
I like it. I'm voting for Fuzzy Wuzzy and bitch.
Well, I think here's one better. You got Fred, Phil, and Horsecock.
Oh jeez Louise!
I like Fred and Phil. What the fuck?
How am I
Yeah,
the one
that's what
coming up
Tyler
with the
said.
not weird names?
Yeah,
Right.
Well,
Literal
technically, you
cartoon
named
bears.
the previous bear the Doublehead. Wasn't that Yogi and Boo, technically speaking?
It was Yogi and Boo Boo, and then this one I either go with Yogi, Boo Boo, or Pooh.
Pooh Bear. Yeah, Pooh Bear would be good. How about
Meanwhile,
Poo Poo?
says
How about Poo Poo, Pee Pee, and
Winnie the Pooh.
yeah, I don't know. Anyways,
How about
I
ouch,
think-
oof, and ow? The sounds I make when they hit me.
I like personally
Ah!
Bob, Fred, and Phil. What about you guys?
Sure, I don't.
You
Are
heard
you
it here,
sure?
folks. Bob, Fred, and Phil confirmed.
Are you sure this is the serious subject? What the fuck?
I mean, it's more related than my,
What was
anime
your
intro.
what was your stupid question then? If this was the
I mean-
serious one,
You know what's funny is that it was what Fortnite character would you add to hunt?
oh my god!
My God.
But then I also realized that none of you could probably answer that.
Well, I have. Hopefully, it doesn't turn into a whole thing, but I
The
have.
Terminator.
The
Yes. Okay, he answered the correct question. All right. Well, ending. No. So serious question of the kind of time period that we're in and what they have not added for skin wise, because everybody likes to talk about guns. A lot of the guns already kind of operated very similarly. What is a skin? It doesn't even have to be an exact skin. What is a theme that they have not touched on in skins that you'd really like to see that would fit in this timeline? Because they have voodoo, they have cowboys, they have even like rich statesmen.
Yeah, like engraved, ornate.
Yeah,
Maybe
which
more-
is personally my
Maybe more.
favorite.
I mean, I guess all the gun skins would be considered vintagey, but like, I don't know.
I want more banditos. I've already said it. I know we have Vaquero, but he's not exactly a bandit. He is a
Enough.
cowboy. His name
Not
literally.
enough.
Yeah, we need
He
bandits.
needs a bigger
Mexican
mustache.
bandits.
Bigger
Yeah.
mustache, bigger sombrero.
What about, like-
Yes.
And
What about like armies of the time too?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
I dig
interesting.
it. I like Army. More
Maybe-
shit like fucking Sergeant Bridgewater.
Yeah, maybe
or even
more
or even the
British
Spanish
themes.
army.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Shit that fits
'Cause
into
they-
the actual area.
They had that in like Red Dead 1, didn't they? You had to go down to Mexico and deal with all
Yeah.
the Spanish Mexican army guys.
Which you
Yeah.
can do in Red Dead 2 as well.
I mean,
After you beat the game.
I could throw this out. Kind of a more Mongolian character.
Nice. Nice.
I mean, we do have some Eastern themed stuff, but it's
So
not
they're
nearly
they're
as.
Eastern, but it's a little different because Mongolian is Mongolia is very different than China and Japan
And Japan
stuff like
and-
that.
Yeah.
So that's why I was thinking of them because like Genghis Khan type character like would be freaking cool
Yeah.
looking.
Right.
Do we have any
usually
like English characters, like British?
yes.
That's what I was saying earlier. Yeah.
I
British
swear we
themed.
have at least a couple, but maybe I'm nuts. Do we have
Good.
0?
Like English specifically?
Yeah, England.
Like English
I mean-
gentleman type characters or something
I mean,
of that nature.
technically they're kind of similar to some of the characters because, I guess it's kind of going out of the realm where acting the same way, I guess.
Yeah, but we need more like distinguished gentleman with a cane.
Or like have like a monocle or something.
yeah, like a
Yeah.
monocle.
Good day. You want to have
And then-
tea?
an
Governor?" No.
an extra tall top hat, super long
Yes.
coatails that are like
Yes.
super out of
Big
fashion.
teeth, because
Like,
we're American and they're English. And yeah, that's right.
Please,
No, we love
Carrying
you.
a crate of tea on their back.
please don't give up on the native skins, though. Keep making them. I think
Yeah,
they're all
they-
great.
yeah, they
This
They're
last
awesome in
one
the game
was
too.
really good. The plains theme.
Yeah,
really
I
awesome.
love those skins.
Even theming them more around the actual regions that were in Louisiana, like those exact tribes would be sick. Maybe they did that with the exact skins they've added, but I'm not exactly completely sure. But that's just a thought I have.
Right.
But Rat, really, not one skin idea?
I'm trying to think because, like, I'd love to see Doc Holliday.
Here, you can have the brain cell back.
Oh, nice, nice.
Legends are always welcome.
Yeah, I'd love to see Doc Holliday, especially where they added Annie Oakley. I mean, Butch and Sundance, they've got pictures. I would also fucking love to see Thomas Jefferson.
I would also
Or
like
no,
to see.
not Thomas Jefferson. Teddy Roosevelt is what I meant.
Yeah, that's a better answer. Yeah.
A guy with a
Yeah.
powered wig would kind of slap, though.
It kind of what if it was like a zombie that like raised from the dead? So he's like a zombie like powdered wig guy. Like that would be sick. Like from the revolutionary time, and he's like, why are these people like having all these weird guns? Like, whoa, that would be cool.
Hell yeah, and it might be more akin to somewhere else, but Hunter that looks a lot more like Kane, but is also a cannibal would be really cool for the story.
Like a cannibal tribesman or something. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
But like not like tribesmen as like native, but like an indigenous like Amazonian tribesman or something. Like,
even if it's someone that washed ashore in the States and somehow just hunting people down savagely, that'd be cool.
And honestly, just based on where the lore comes from, I would also love to see like an African shaman.
Ooh, okay, I
that'd be
like that
kinda
a lot.
cool, yeah,
There you
that'd be
go.
really cool.
I like that. All right, we kind of
I
feeling
think
that.
I think we've cooked long enough. Yeah.
We cooked. All right.
I am
The-
feeling it now, Mr. Crab.
If they come out
No
with like
cap.
an African shaman or any of this shit, it's fucking like It's been proved. Somebody at Crytek is listening, and they need to
Correlation does
known.
not equal causation.
Yeah, but now that you said that, they're definitely not gonna add it so that we don't catch on to that. No, I'm just kidding.
The winky dink.
Fight rat's fun. It adds to
Yeah.
the charm. All right, so boys, I'm imagining that last subjects are probably kind of. I think we've
Kind
got
of the
what we want to
closing.
say.
Yeah, it's kind of the closing ceremony, if you.
Oh, for sure. And I would just like to say, it's been one hell of a roller coaster because we are doing nothing but watching the numbers go up, which we never really expected, or at least I didn't. And it has been a pleasure to just see you guys continue to follow, continue to leave reviews. Even though we're humble numbers and we're just a podcast that occasionally uploads to Spotify and YouTube. Thank you guys. You guys are all incredible. It means the world.
Yeah,
Yeah,
tell your friends, bring more people to play the game too.
And come hang out in the Discord, because the aneurysm I can feel Bard get every time he sees that I'm typing for a long time. It brings me joy.
He needs more, is what he's saying.
Please don't. And all you're gonna do is
Please don't.
all you're gonna do is make Sway laugh harder.
Hey guys, so in classic HBE fashion, we forgot to read off the honorary hunters, but I will get to you honorary hunters right now. A Cunning Rogue, Big Monkey CNC, Call Me Roy, Cube, Disfigured, Sway, Drake, Element, Glonky Pete, Gobby, Gumbo John, Hans, Hazmat, J Tizzle, Curzair, Kit, Chris, Kugisaki, Mama Bear, Mimic, Our Father Gray, Penguin, Prez Graves, and Warfinger. You guys are all amazing. And also, Disfigured, you left a comment, but we will get to that on the next episode. Don't worry. We love you all.
But guys, before we go and rant into the void, I want to thank you all so much for listening to this episode. And as always,
Stay hunting.
stay hunting, everyone.
Hey,
You
you
do the
Picasso.
honoraries.
Stay hunting and live long enough to fuck the moon another
I
day.
knew it was coming.
Damn right. Tommy Moon Dick rides again.
No.
Well, Sway, give an outro.
Rat already did. It's perfect.
Perfect, my ass. But as perfect as it turned in the field.
Oh,
I
wait.
think Richard wanted to say one too, though.
Yeah, I've got
Oh.
one.
Yeah.
Roses are red, violets are blue. There's some guy over there fucking the moon.
Oh, okay, I regret letting Richard do that.
Yes. Bring back the lamp.
Oh no, we're about to have a civil war here on Banish Extract.
It's happening. I'm fucking. Hang on. What's my nearest firearm?
Next season's gonna be
It better
called
not
the
be a
Division.
Lamette because that should be removed from the game.
I will fight you.
Oh, shots
no.
fired. None of them hit.
No, it isn't.
Okay,
I was
but-
going to say it's all
None of them
black
hit
powder, except
because
you're
you're-
loaded.
Okay, but I've got an actual real 9mm right here. Are you guys? I'm just kidding.
Well,
we
I've
going?
seen your aim. I think I'm okay.
well, it doesn't matter
Hey,
either way
in real
because
life, I'm
the
good.
Lamette doesn't know how to hit any of its shots. So
Exactly. Even the shotgun.
Yeah.
even the shotgun.
I'm
Make
a
sure
pretty
to
good
tell
shot in
it
real
takes
life, so.
slugs so you can miss it for sure.
Might as well come with rubber ducky loads.
Yeah. All right, guys.
All right. Well,
Stay hunting.
Yep.
Fortnite.
Stay
imagine having to deal with these fuckers every day.
Lamp gate.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.